1. The summons to the Galactic Council. The Galactic Council chamber was a sight to behold. A vast dome-shaped structure floating in the void of deep space. Its interior shimmered with holographic projections of distant galaxies and star charts. Delegates from over 1,000 species occupied floating platforms, each uniquely designed to accommodate their physiology. The air hummed with tension and whispered translations as news of humanity's dietary habits spread like wildfire. At the center of it all, the massive central screen displayed the damning phrase H309 Homo sapiens ecological anomalies. Councillor Virax, a serpentine being whose emerald scales reflected the ambient starlight, slithered to the forefront of his platform. His voice, amplified for the chamber, cut through the murmurs like a blade. "We have summoned the representatives of Earth to address a matter of great concern," he began. "Reports suggest that your species not only consumes apex predators, but does so as a matter of routine. This behavior is unprecedented and potentially destabilizing to the ecological principles we hold dear." From a glowing corridor, 2 human representatives emerged. They were a study in contrasts, the first a composed man in a tailored dark suit, exuding professionalism, the second a robust woman in casual attire, carrying what looked like a polished bone in her hand. Her relaxed demeanor was a stark juxtaposition to the formal gravity of the setting. The chamber buzzed with incredulity as the 2 humans took their place on the central platform. Councillor Virax leaned in, his golden eyes narrowing. "Do you deny these claims, humans? That you hunt, kill, and consume creatures at the pinnacle of your planet's food chain?" The man smiled politely, his voice calm. "We don't deny it, Councillor. In fact, we celebrate it. On Earth we call it barbecue." A ripple of shock spread across the chamber. Gasps, whispers, and even a few outraged growls filled the air. The Zixian representative, a diminutive figure with iridescent wings, fluttered forward, her voice high-pitched and trembling. "You mean to say you eat creatures that could hunt you in return? Wolves, sharks, lions?" The woman raised the bone in her hand and snapped it audibly, sending a jolt through the room. "Not just hunt, Councillor. We farm them. Sustainably, of course." The room erupted into chaos. Representatives from herbivorous civilizations recoiled in horror, while carnivorous species exchanged uncertain glances. The concept of farming apex predators was incomprehensible to most of them. Apex predators, by their nature, were untamed and revered, never subdued to such a degree. Councillor Virax raised his voice to restore order. "Farm? You mean to suggest you have domesticated creatures meant to dominate their ecosystems? Such hubris is unheard of." The woman shrugged, her expression casual. "Hubris? No, it's innovation. Lion steaks are a delicacy, tiger jerky is great for long journeys, and shark fin soup. Well, we've moved to lab-grown options now, so it's all ethical." Virax hissed, his tail coiling tighter. "Do you not fear the ecological consequences of such actions? Apex predators play critical roles in maintaining balance." The man adjusted his tie, his voice measured. "We are well aware of that, Councillor. That's why we've developed advanced ecological management systems. Populations are tracked and controlled, ecosystems are studied, and every effort is made to ensure sustainability. We understand balance better than most because we've had to fight for it every step of the way." The Zixian representative fluttered nervously. "But why go through such effort? Why not simply consume prey species? as most civilizations do. Rabbits, livestock, fish. The woman smirked, her tone almost teasing. Rabbits. Too easy. We prefer a challenge. Besides, apex predators taste better. Something about their diet and muscle structure. You should try it sometime. The chamber grew silent, the weight of her words settling heavily over the delegates. As the humans stood, unfazed under the scrutiny of hundreds of alien eyes, it became clear that this was no mere dietary preference. It was a window into humanity's psyche, one of innovation, audacity, and a refusal to bow to natural order. Ending note. The Zixian representative leaned toward Councillor Virax, her voice a whisper. They don't merely adapt to their environment. They dominate it. Perhaps it's not their appetite we should fear, but their philosophy. The Rack stared after the humans as they exited, the faintest trace of unease flickering in his gaze. You're wrong. It's not philosophy we should fear. It's what they might decide to taste next. Two, humanity's perspective and cultural insight. The chamber quieted as the human man, calm and collected, began to speak. His tone was measured, but there was an underlying confidence, almost a challenge, that unnerved many of the alien representatives. To understand our practices, you must first understand our history, he began, addressing the gathered council. Humans have spent millennia surviving in an environment that was, quite frankly, out to kill us. We started at the bottom of the food chain, vulnerable to predators larger, stronger, and faster than us. But what we lacked in physical strength, we made up for with ingenuity and resilience. The woman interrupted with a grin, holding up her bone as if it were a trophy. And persistence. Lots of persistence. You ever chase down a lion for 3 days straight until it collapses from exhaustion? No, we did. Several delegates exchanged uneasy glances. The concept of actively hunting creatures far more dangerous than oneself was alien, foolhardy at best, suicidal at worst. The man nodded. Over time, our survival strategies evolved. We didn't just hunt predators. We learned to live alongside them, to outthink them, and eventually to turn them into resources. It's not just about food. It's about mastery. It's about proving that nothing in our world is beyond our understanding or control. The Zixian representative fluttered nervously, her wings shimmering in the dim light. But why? Why not focus on more docile prey? Why this obsession with dominance? The woman leaned forward, her smirk widening. Because we can. Because every predator we tame, every challenge we overcome, reminds us of what we're capable of. It's part of our culture. Apex predators aren't just food. They're symbols of strength, and we like to put strength on our plates. The Grok representative, a hulking figure covered in thick armored scales, stood abruptly. You mean to say you choose to eat creatures that could kill you, just to prove a point? The woman locked eyes with the Grok, her tone casual but firm. Exactly. And, if you're ever on Earth, we'd be happy to serve you a slice of lion's steak, medium rare of course. The chamber erupted into whispers and murmurs again, but this time the tone had shifted. Where there was once horror and disbelief, there was now a flicker of something else, admiration. The man took the opportunity to elaborate. It's not just about food either. Humanity has always sought to innovate and adapt. Farming apex predators wasn't just a culinary choice. It was a solution to ecological challenges. By managing predator populations, We prevent overhunting, protect ecosystems, and ensure sustainability. Our approach isn't reckless, it's calculated. Vyrex's eyes narrowed, his voice a low hiss. Calculated? You mean to say you treat these creatures as experiments? The woman chuckled. No, Counselor, we treat them as dinner. There's a difference. The grok, who had been silent for a moment, let out a deep, rumbling laugh. You humans are either the bravest or the most insane species I've ever encountered. Perhaps both. Ending note. As the laughter died down, the Zixian representative spoke again, her voice hesitant. But what of the creatures you cannot tame? Surely there are some predators even humans fear. The woman's grin turned predatory. Fear? No. Respect? Occasionally, but we've yet to meet a predator we couldn't handle, one way or another. The grok growled approvingly. You do not merely survive your world, you conquer it. Perhaps there's something to learn from such audacity. Vyrex watched the humans closely as they turned to leave, their confidence unshaken. A chill ran down his spine as he muttered to himself, if they can conquer their own apex predators, what's to stop them from doing the same to the galaxy? 3. Alien reactions and debates. The chamber buzzed with chaos as alien representatives struggled to process what the humans had just said. Species with strict vegetarian philosophies looked utterly horrified, while apex predator civilizations stared at the humans with a mix of awe and unease. The notion of eating apex predators, creatures revered or feared across countless worlds, was utterly incomprehensible to most. Counselor Vyrex's tail coiled tightly beneath him, a clear sign of his agitation. He hissed sharply, silencing the chamber. This behavior is not only barbaric but potentially destabilizing. Do you not understand the delicate role apex predators play in their ecosystems? The human man adjusted his tie and gave a patient smile. Counselor, we're deeply aware of the importance of ecological balance. That's why we've implemented comprehensive management systems. Apex predator farming isn't just about consumption. It's a form of population control that ensures these creatures thrive under human oversight, while benefiting the broader ecosystem. Vyrex narrowed his golden eyes. Control? You think you can control creatures that have ruled your ecosystems for millions of years? Such arrogance is unparalleled. Before the man could reply, the grok representative, a towering reptilian warrior with gleaming scales and a reputation for ruthlessness, rose to his full height. His deep, rumbling voice filled the chamber. I find this fascinating, the grok said, his sharp teeth glinting. On my world, apex predators are honored as symbols of strength. We fight them in ceremonial battles, but never would we dream of eating them. To do so would invite dishonor. And yet, here you stand, humans, claiming to consume such creatures as casually as one might drink water. The human woman smirked, her eyes locking with the grok's. Well, grok representative, maybe. It's because we don't just fight to survive. We fight to win, and when we win, we feast. The grok's eyes gleamed with something bordering on respect, though he said nothing more. A smaller avian representative from the peaceful Arvyalar species chirped nervously. Surely this speaks to a dangerous mindset. A species willing to dominate its own apex predators, might see all other species as potential resources. What guarantee do we have that humanity won't turn its gaze to us next? The chamber grew tense as murmurs of agreement rippled through the council. The man raised a hand, signaling for calm. "We have no interest in dominating other species, Counselor. Our approach is one of coexistence. But," he added with a sharp glance around the room, "we also don't shy away from challenges. If there's one thing humanity excels at, it's finding solutions to problems, even if those problems bite back." The tension in the chamber was palpable. The Zixian representative, trembling slightly, fluttered forward. "But how do you justify the risk? Surely this recklessness will one day be your undoing." The woman shrugged nonchalantly. "Maybe, but until that day, we'll keep innovating, adapting, and thriving. And if the risk gets too big," she grinned, "we'll make it taste good." The chamber erupted once more, though now the tone was mixed. Some species seemed intrigued, even impressed, while others remained visibly shaken. The Grok representative leaned forward, his deep voice carrying over the din. "Your kind is strange, human. You don't fear strength, you consume it. Perhaps there is wisdom in such audacity." Councillor Virax hissed again. "Wisdom? This is madness. They toy with forces beyond their control." The woman laughed, her tone bold. "Beyond our control? Counselor, there hasn't been anything beyond our control for centuries. A threat turned opportunity." The chamber's tension had reached its peak. The humans stood calm and composed amidst the storm of alien debates, their unwavering confidence striking a nerve with both their admirers and detractors. Finally, a tall insectoid delegate with a glistening exoskeleton and razor-sharp mandibles rose from its seat. The representative belonged to the Virax, a species known for their cold logic and predatory instincts. Its voice was sharp and metallic, echoing through the chamber. To consume them is to invite chaos, and your behavior is not merely audacious, it is dangerous. Perhaps even global. Your species has proven itself reckless, perhaps even a threat to the galactic order. Should the Council not take precautions against you? A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber, and the humans exchanged a glance. The man stepped forward, his expression unchanging, but his voice carried a weight that made the entire chamber fall silent. "Counselor," he said evenly, "if you're suggesting that humanity is dangerous, you're not wrong, but what you call recklessness, we call resilience. Every predator we've faced, whether it was on Earth or in the stars, has taught us to be better, stronger and smarter. We don't just survive challenges, we turn them into opportunities." The Virax mandibles clicked, its tone laced with disdain. "And what happens when you encounter a predator you cannot defeat? Will you still boast of your resilience when you are devoured?" The woman stepped in, her smirk returning. "Funny thing about predators, they all think they're invincible until they meet a bigger one. And when we're the bigger predator, we don't just win, we feast." The Grok representative let out a booming laugh that echoed through the chamber. "You humans are insane. I like it." This sudden shift caught the Virax off guard. It clicked its mandibles in irritation. Your arrogance blinds you. This council would be wise to contain your kind before your ambition consumes more than just apex predators." The man smiled, though his eyes held an edge. "Contain us? Counselor, let me offer you some advice. Predators that try to corner humans don't usually survive the encounter, and those that do, well, they usually regret it." The room fell into an uneasy silence. Some representatives looked uneasy, while others appeared thoughtful, even impressed. The Grok leaned forward again, his deep voice resonating with approval. "You humans don't fear the strong, you become the strong. Perhaps there is something we can learn from you after all." The Zixian representative, still nervous but clearly curious, asked hesitantly, "If your species thrives on challenges, what happens when there are none left to conquer?" The woman grinned. "Then we'll create new ones. That's the human way." The Virax hissed, but said nothing more, retreating into its seat. Councillor Virax, still coiled tightly, eyed the humans with a mix of suspicion and grudging respect. "You may leave, humans, but mark my words, your kind walks a dangerous path. One day, you may find yourselves the hunted." As the humans turned to leave, the woman paused, turning back with a sly smile. "My day might come, but if it does, you can bet we'll be serving whoever's hunting us for dessert." No. The humans exited the chamber, their confident strides leaving a lasting impression. As the door closed behind them, Councillor Virax turned to his peers, his voice barely above a whisper. "They are not just predators, they are pioneers. If we are wise, we will not hunt them, we will follow them." Counsel of the story: humans casually devour apex predators for dinner. The Galactic Council convenes to address alarming reports about humanity's dietary habits, specifically their routine consumption of apex predators. Representatives from various alien species express horror, disbelief, and fear at such behavior, considering it barbaric and ecologically reckless. Humanity's two delegates, a composed man and a bold, casual woman, calmly explain their reasoning. Earth's history of survival demanded ingenuity, resilience, and a willingness to dominate challenges, including its most dangerous creatures. Their argument highlights humanity's mastery of ecological balance through advanced systems, and their cultural perspective of seeing apex predators not just as food, but as symbols of strength. While some alien species admire their audacity, others fear it, believing it reflects a dangerous mindset that could extend to galactic dominance. The tension reaches its peak when a predatory alien accuses humans of recklessness, only for the humans to turn the accusation into a demonstration of their philosophy. They don't just survive predators, they conquer them and turn them into opportunities. Their closing remarks leave the Council both unsettled and impressed, with some species re-evaluating their views of humanity as allies or threats. As the humans exit, one councillor ominously warns, "One day, you may be the hunted." The humans respond with a confident grin, hinting that if that day comes, even their hunters won't escape their ingenuity.